was like, I'm not taking money. Actually, I've had a few people are like, I'm not going to take money from the government. I'm not going to do this stimulus thing. And I'm like, we have put money into this. Absolutely, you should take it. It's like we have gotten so into this mindset that the government, like we're like their minions. And it's like, no, it's the other way around. They work for us. And that's been coming through a lot. And then when my shaman said it, it just like really clicked for me, and I was like, yep, it's true, they do work for us, and we have to remember that. So think about that too. It's a good time to manifest your energy, manifest what you need in your life, whether it's wealth, joy, abundance, happiness, whatever you need, fertility. But also, it's important for us to keep a mind on the collective right now. There is a mass I'm hearing from spirit, it's a mass transitional wave that's happening over the collective and over the planet. So every single day is going to be different, every week is going to be different, every hour, all of it, you guys. It's like right now we have to really be as present as possible. And I know it's hard, right? Because we're asking to be, it's like spirit's asking us to go in multiple directions. However, it feels like, how can we do that when we have this, and that? Well, that's the whole point, right? They're asking us, where are we putting our energy? Where are we placing our energy right now? When I got knocked down for the count for those 3 days, I had to really, really like, I couldn't move much. And it was fun to play on my phone. It was fun to post things, but it was also fascinating to me to see how many followers I lost. And I thought, oh, that's funny. I was gaining momentum on followers when I was doing readings, but the second I started posting like my life or like, things I was talking about, I posted a lot of things about Sex in the City and Little Women, about what women are going through right now, because I've been talking to a lot of our ancestors with that. I all of a sudden it was like overnight I had like 3 people that dropped me, and I'm like, interesting. I'm like, I wonder if they're men or women. Like my mind was like, like I don't look at it anymore like, oh no, people are unfollowing me or unsubscribing. It's more like a interesting. What's going on with them, right? Because there's nothing to do with me. It's like whatever I'm doing that would make them unfollow me. It's something that they're like, not dealing with in themselves, or what they don't want to see because they've moved on past that, right? And that's totally fine. Either way, I don't get upset. That's why I stopped following people, because I was just like, you know what? I'll go to people's pages. And I find I haven't really even been going anywhere on people's pages. I go on my social media and I post things. There are a few people that I like their sayings or whatever, like some of the witches, I like some of their fun little stuff, and I do that. But other than that, I've just been trying to stay focused and working on myself. The flip side of that is spirit said, remember the yin and yang of the balance of that, right? Because the balancing act. Also, make sure that we're not spending too much time on ourselves, that we're neglecting the collective, right? So the water fairy, feelings and emotions. This is one of those decks that I don't read. That's also from the Wisdom of Avalon deck. I don't read a lot of these cards because I feel like there's so much information in it. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that it's the number 28, which is next week. Or this week. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I got it, Dad. Okay, cool. So, right, this is a weekly reading, right, for the 24th of May through May 31st. So, on the 28th, which is on Thursday, that's my beloved's birthday, and also the anniversary of my father's, that's my father's death day. So, I know for myself, I'm going to be in nature for sure, because Ed and I were like, no matter what, we are going to find a way to be in nature for his birthday. So on the 28th, this Thursday, it's going to be different for all of us, but spirit wants you to really tap into your your fairy energy, specifically water energy, like your emotions, your feelings, like maybe that's the day that you're like, I think I need to be alone this day, and allow yourself to cry. Like go somewhere, go into nature. Look at her, like she's like surrounded in nature, right? Like literally, like she's surrounded in nature. She's got those it looks like a lily pads around her. I feel like she wants to go back in the front there. Okay, so I'm going to read this card because she wants us to tell her story. It says, when the water fairy swims up to you with her liquid magic, she reminds you that emotions and feelings may be running the show. She asks you to consider how you really feel about things and why. She also reminds you that you are not your feelings. You are the one experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. The water fairy also tells you that it's time to lose your rigidity. Be fluid and willing at times to compromise and allow change to happen. If you're happy right now, enjoy, for the water fairy swirls her love around you. If things are making you sad, she comes to wash away your tears. The water fairy knows the power of emotions, so when she appears, be mindful of them and how they affect you. Remember, feelings are the fuel for manifesting. Be certain that you want to create what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive. The water fairy longs to smile at you in reflection. I love that. Get it? Like water reflection? That's beautiful. And now she wants to take a step back. She's going to come back here. You can still see her. Because now, oh, here we go. We're going to put this, if necessary, I'm willing to let go of an old identity, lifestyle, relationship, or career so I can grow and develop my potential. Every ending is an opportunity for something new to emerge, right? Letting that water wash over you, that emotions wash over you so you can cleanse and purge yourself of that energy. So we're going to keep her up front because the next card is burden. This is a sacred journey marker, number 43, also another 7. Look at, we had 34 in the wealth. So interesting. And 28 is also the number 10, which is the end of a cycle. So for some of you, you're at the end of this, cycle here with your emotions, like you're finally like releasing like that toxicity and, you're letting the rigidity go, you're allowing things to flow. But Spirit's saying, like, for some of you, this, as an empath, I'm hearing, like, you're letting, like, remember the water fairy was talking about letting, like, the emotions work through you. So the burden is that you've taken on the emotions and you're letting them reside inside of you instead of letting them work through you and then, like, moving on. Because the whole purpose of us working through our emotions is to let them go, to release them. So we're not meant to like stay in these like long periods of depression, right? Especially with the empaths. I mean, as much as we long, to quote unquote be normal, we're not, right? We handle emotions differently, but if we hold on to them too tightly, if we, especially if it's somebody else's, right? Like, and especially if it's somebody who lives in your house, whether it's your children, your spouse, your significant other, whatever, your roommate, whoever it is, if there's other people in your house who are going through stuff, are you taking on too much of their emotions? So this card says, what burdens are you carrying on this part of the journey? Are you transporting those of others out of generosity or codependency? Is this burden so heavy that it's slowing you down? This marker asks you to stop and look at your responsibilities, your commitments, and all that you bring with you on your journey. Are you clinging to an unhealthy relationship out of fear? Are you taking on the burden of others to prevent them from getting hurt? Do you know that this enables others to avoid learning their life lessons and doesn't really help at all? Drawing this marker encourages you to release others to their own path. It may also be a time for you to ask if you're helping because you like being needed. If the answer is not yes, well, I heard no. That's awesome. But it says if the answer is yes, then the message is to truly let go of this burden, for it's born of self-centeredness. Release the burden of others to the divine. They also have their own angels and guides, just as you do. Trust in the divine plan for all. On the sacred path to Avalon, you must be aware that you pack all the essential wisdom tools you will need to chart your course. Integrity, kindness, compassion, discernment, discretion, faith, forgiveness, truth, and love are but some of them. Once your tools are counted, see if the rest of what you're hanging onto is appropriate. This is the time to leave behind any unnecessary burdens and to know that you have the strength to carry what is yours. Yes, I know for some of you that are in the tribe, and this is a lot of you that we've been working with this for several months for you. You have to let go of certain people. That, like, you have to let go of certain people. And some of you, it's like tied into like your money, right? Like you're like, what's going to happen if I do this? Or what's going to happen if I do that? Or how am I going to survive if this happens? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And it's like, but there's way to shift your thinking and your mindset, but you're still stuck in this, like, some of you are stuck in like a savior complex. Like you think you're going to be able to save this person. I mean, I had to kick Ed out like 20 times because I was like, I realized how much I was getting off on the savior complex part of it. Even though I didn't realize that's what I was doing, I know now like that's exactly what I was doing. It's like I've done that, with so many of my relationships. And I remember crying to my mom one time and saying, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just find somebody who's got their shit together? And like, why, and my mom said, who's the common denominator? She's like, you have to ask yourself, like, are you the one that's doing it? Are you like self-sabotaging and like not moving on because you feel guilty that you've evolved past this person? But you can't, because the other part of that is you are holding them back from their lessons. You are holding them back from their journey. If they don't want to do the work themselves, that has nothing to do with you. That is none of your business, actually. Even if you think it's your business, it's not your business. So it's time to let them go. And this says, I blame myself for things that go wrong around me. I must be in control. Right? So that lends to that, what we were just talking about, the control side of it. You want everything to happen the way you want it to happen, right? But on the flip side of that, this is healing sadness number 3. Things are happening as they should around me. This is the mindset Spirit wants you to take on. Imagine what your life would be like if you weren't constantly like healing, saving, or trying to, save, trying to heal somebody else, right? Look at that. Look at how that just flew down over the emotions. Like you don't want to see it, or you don't want to see them go through it, right? You're like, I don't want to see them suffer. Well, yeah, but life is suffering. As much as people don't want to hear this, life is suffering. And FYI, this came through earlier, the crystal cards. The crystal cards haven't come out in a while. And this fluorite card came out. So work with fluorite. I'm not sure whether we're going to read it or not. But if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. Then that's your homework to look it up. But fluorite is a really powerful stone for you right now. In fact, they're having me put it in front of like, cease the burden with fluorite. And I'll leave it at that, right? So let those emotions, flow, yours and theirs. Like, don't stop yourself from healing. You get it, you feel it, and then you release it. 5103. Then you let it go, which is also the number 9. Okay, 5 of summer. 5 of summer. This card says, trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others. I mean, come on, right? We can't make this shit up. Focusing on that which frightens or worries you, right? So we were talking about the fear, like releasing the fear. And what does that say? That's interesting. So I'm going to leave this here for a minute. Actually, if some of you want to take a screenshot right now, let me get this in focus for you. Take a screenshot. Look at that pretty fairy. But her face, actually, I kind of want to look at this closer. I'm going to put my glasses on. I know I threw them over here somewhere. There they are. It's interesting. She looks very, I've seen this card so many times, but I never really noticed before how uncertain her face is. Can you see that? That makes sense, right? She's feeling that sense of uncertainty and right. And coming back to this one, the balancing act, same thing. That kind of, that face of the unknown. The other thing is, this is the fairy tarot here. Oops, let me get that back in focus. And so this summer is actually translates to swords. And so it's the thinking, it's the air sign. So for some of you, this may be, I'm hearing the water fairy wants to go back here now. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. For some of you, this is, deep thinking, for some of you, it's to get out of your head though, too, but it's also for an air sign. So you could be the air sign, or maybe they're the air sign. And we are talking about, we are in Gemini energy right now, which is an air sign. And I'm feeling like this wealth still wants to stay around here. So for some of you, that means something with your air sign, right? So are you struggling with that with them? Are you guys having something, you know, that's going on, you know, that you're not looking at, you know, because 5 is also about imbalance and instability, but it's also change, which, you know, it's like, that's what I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you to change. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to make sure. I feel like there was another card. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I feel like there was some other card that wanted to play a part in this one. Oh, here we go. This one feels right. The owl. And the owl, you know, is all about wisdom, but it's also about deception. So for some of you, see how she's kind of like, she's trying to move forward, but she's still kind of like lingering back. Like she's still trying to like hang back there. Right? Like she's kind of got 1 foot in front of her and 1 foot behind her. That's the deception that I'm feeling from the owl, is that it's almost like, for some of you, it's like, you know, this person is not right for you, or you know that this person is holding you back, whether it's family, you know, friends, whoever it is, you know, lover, partner. Like, you know, this, if this is resonating with you, if somebody came into your mindset, that's, you know who it is. Like, you don't, sometimes you'd be like, I don't know who the person is. It's like, well, who came into your mind? You know, even if it's somebody that you guys don't even know how many times I have done readings for myself, or I have watched readings or had readings done for myself, and someone will pop into my mind and I'll go, no, that's not right. They would never do that. They would never do that. I'm sorry, but that's just fucking wrong. They would never do that. Well, you know what? They would. And just because they may seem like the wise owl, or maybe they seem like, you know, somebody that you've been, you know, following for a long time, or I've been getting this from a lot of people lately who are like, man, I just am not into, you know, this shaman anymore that I worked with, or I'm just not into this person anymore. Like, that's so weird. What does that mean? I'm like, just means that you're evolving. Sometimes we evolve past our teachers, and that's okay. Like, it's not, you know, 5542. It's not a good or a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's just where you are, and it's where they are. And, you know, everybody, they're human here, right? So they're going through their shit too. So as much as you're, you know, like growing, it's like they may not be. Maybe they've stayed where they are. Some people get trapped in egos, you know. The next one, this one was like, wanted to be heard right away. Ooh, by the way, I didn't think of summer before, but this card, the 3 of summer, absolutely. I got like, you know how like how each season has 3 months in the cycle. We are in the last week of May, and this is definitely for this week, but this is for us to look at, but also for, this is our medicine for the last month of spring, because the 3 months of summer, I got this really strongly, you guys. The 35636, I got this really strongly, that the 3 months of summer, that's how Spirit said it to me as I pulled the card out and looked at it. They were saying the 3 months of summer are going to feel like this. And it says news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or births, friends you cherish. Yeah, like this summer is going to be a whole new time for us, you guys. They're getting a handle on this virus. They're starting to understand what's going on with it. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I believe that people like us who, I mean, I don't believe in this virus. I'm not going to get sick, so I won't get sick. I firmly believe that if we believe something, it won't happen. But if you're like, I'm going to get sick, or, oh my God, now my cousin's sick, what am I going to do? You know, it's like, that just like weakens your immune system. So stay strong. Stay looking forward to the summer, because it's going to be a shit show. I'm not going to lie. The next month is a lot of good things are going to happen. A lot of beautiful, wonderful, wonderful things are going to happen in the next month. But we are also at the end of this karmic energy that I was talking about. That's what the eclipses are for. We're in so many planets are in retrograde, you guys. Really, this is the time to study astrology. You know, I've been studying it more myself, just because it's like, we can't deny like what's happening. Also, the first week in June 5th, it's a full moon in Sagittarius, but it's a full moon, it's eclipse full moon. So, and that's my full moon. I'm a Sagittarius, and I'm like all Sag, and my moon's in Scorpio. I'm pretty much all Sag, and the things that make the most, you know, and then my moon's in Scorpio. So I know for me, like, it's not going to be an easy time, but that's okay, because I'm just going to keep flowing with it, right? Because I know this is coming. I know that those 3 months of summer are coming, And that is what, we focus on the now, but knowing that this good, blah, 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 knowing that this good is coming for us is, I know for me, is making things so much better. Also, threes are about, creation and expansion. So, summer's going to be a time for us to really start to like kind of become who we are, getting more into our artistry, focusing more on like our spirituality and like who we are and like what we want in life, and realizing that the new world is our world and not this old archaic, thinking that this programmed society that we've been living in. And also, again, we're dealing with air. So again, this could be, for some of you, this could be a Gemini. So maybe news worth celebrating. You're going to get a proposal. I feel like somebody's going to, when I saw the marriage, I was like, like somebody's getting a proposal in our tribe. So that's really exciting. And I feel like this wants to go right here. So we'll just leave that there. Let's see what the next cards have to say. We got ourselves a nice pile here. Ooh, I don't know if I've ever pulled this card yet. This is from the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle. Look at this beauty. The High Priestess. So even for some of you that follow, tarot, maybe the High Priestess card speaks to you in this way. But for this particular card, it says discernment. Ooh, is that, I never pronounced this word right. Prescience, prophecy, and vision. I wish this would let me like still record and like research, because I know this word, but I should say I've known of this word, but I feel like I would love to hear. I'm going to put the, I've been having a hard time speaking lately. The meaning. Good Lord, I couldn't find it. That's been happening to me a lot lately. I swear, like my past lives, I think this is the first life I spoke English. I'm not kidding, because I've struggled with the English language pretty much since I can remember. And it's always been this ongoing joke with my friends and I that I'm like, this is the first time I'm learning English in this life. Okay, so it's card number 2. I'm definitely going to read it because it's so beautiful. Also, I want to bring it up a little bit because, look at how the owl card came with it. I just wanted to show you this card. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at how beautiful. Look at the detail on that. I'm like, is that her breasts? I was like, I'm sorry, I had to look. I was like, I couldn't tell if that was like part of her, if that was her or if it was something else. It looked like something was floating in front of her. Oh, that's so cool. You guys, that's so cool that there's a raven right here, because we pulled a raven card in this one too. I just was really drawn to have you guys look at this because I feel like this means a lot. I mean, I see Gaia. I mean, there's so much the goddess. I mean, it's just like the High Priestess, right? Like, that's really powerful. Okay, here we go. It's fun when I look at them. I was reading this thing recently that said if you wanted to be a really good reader, you'd go through your decks and like really study each card and, really look at them. And I'm like, I don't feel that way at all. I think the whole excitement of getting these decks is like that I look at them for the first time with you guys too. It's like it's fun for all of us. I mean, yeah, it may make the readings go by faster when I know exactly what it says, but I also like reading them. I think it's fun because the book has a lot to say and it's a mass reading for a lot of people. So this says intuition, prescient sight, higher knowledge, receptivity, the ability to work with subtle energies of spirit, and the psychic power of the feminine. These are the aspects of the High Priestess of Avalon. When the High Priestess appears before you, she asks you to trust your intuition and to throw the net of your awareness out into the world around you, pulling in truths that may defy your intellect, rational mind, or what others wish to falsely or superficially portray. Go beyond the ordinary, past the chaos of modern life, and trust your inner vision to guide you on your path. Pay attention to your dreams and keep track of your intuitive hunches, for when the High Priestess appears, she asks you to look for the thread of truth in these places. Be discerning in all that you do at this time, for the High Priestess reminds you that not all is as it seems to be. However, Don't take this world's, oh my gosh, seriously, you guys, like this has been happening to me. So I'm going to, let's take a water break. Take a breath. Cleanse the palate. Okay. Go beyond the ordinary, past the chaos of modern life, and trust your inner vision to guide you on your path. Pay attention to your dreams and keep track of your intuitive hunches, for when the High Priestess appears, she asks you to look for the thread of truth in these places. Be discerning in all that you do at this time, for the High Priestess reminds you that not all is as it seems to be. However, don't take this world personally. Rise above it and ask for a true vision to see the path ahead. You will be given this vision. All you need to do is ask the god/goddess and be open to receiving it. The High Priestess reminds you of the feminine principle of receptivity, gathering power by receiving information and waiting for others to act first. Allow the world to show you its intentions. The goddess blesses and protects you when the High Priestess of Avalon appears on your path. It's very powerful. Right? So I love that one part where it says, go beyond the ordinary, past the chaos of modern life, because that is what's been tripping me up, trying to deal with that. And I know for myself, I've been forced to, because everyone around us I'm in Washington State, and everywhere around me, my neighbors, it's been crazy and chaotic here. The energy has been so horrible. And one of our neighbors, when we first moved here a few years ago, they were building something, and my landlord was like, oh, I wonder if they're building an addition or something. But we have a feeling that they were building like a small home or something, because more people live up there now, and the one person has this like horrible loud old truck that the muffler is gone, and we have to hear this person going up and down. Like, it's just been horrible, and it's really been upsetting me, and I'm trying not to let certain things like that upset me. But it's like I'll be in like a meditation, or I'll be in a good space, and it's like I'm like, what the fuck? It's just horrible, and it's just a few minutes of interruption, but it's just like, it's just this world. It's just loud and brass and just like in my face. And I've just been feeling lately like I don't fucking like it. I don't like being in the middle of this transition. It's just gross. But it's like anything else. You have to get to the very, very bottom of something to rise to the top. And I feel like we have hit rock bottom. Like, I feel like this was our bottom out. But at the same time, oh, of course, this one's coming next. But at the same time, it's not a switch. We're not just like flipping the switch. We actually have to go through it. So, especially for us as empaths, we're feeling all of this immense energy, but the raven is swooping in. Look at, there's the raven. Look at how the raven is facing one way on this card, and then like facing this way. It's like, it's like the High Priestess wants us to remember that we are fucking powerful. We are pure magic, right? The raven is here to remind us that we are pure magic. Coincidence, synchronistic events, and it's the number 10 too, right, which is about completion. We've been having that coming up a lot. So, in order for us to really work through it, to work through our magic, we have to accept our magic. We have to accept our inner knowledge, our wisdom. We have to see past the deception of this earthly plane right now. We have to like go inward and like see that we are magic, and like really like hone into our wisdom there. Owl's gonna take a back seat there. But the raven is here to remind us of our magic, right? We're manifestors. We're manifestors, like the Trinket 5. We're manifestors. I feel like the Trinket's like, we're done for now. And the raven doesn't even need to be there. The raven's like, we're good. We can come back here. They're like, you get the message. Plus, look at Raven. I love it. I love it. I love it. So the raven says, when the raven appears, it's a sign of magic, where coincidence and divine synchronicity bring surprising elements together. The raven reminds you that on the path to wholeness, the magic of Avalon appears and all things become possible. Ask the raven to help you be aware of synchronicity in your life and to see how the god/goddess works anonymously on your path. If you feel hopeless or lost, you may need reminding that this kind of magic occurs in your daily life. Even if you can't see it, trust it to bring joy, understanding, and fulfillment to your life no matter what the present circumstances appear to be. Remember, the raven says, believe in magic and you cannot help but see it. Magic lives within the belief itself. Expect the unexpected and prepare to be amazed. And I'll tell you, like I was talking about earlier about my injury, it's like I was pissed off. I was just like, and how arrogant. I was so arrogant that I'm like, I'm above it. Like I shouldn't have to feel these earthly pains anymore. I shouldn't have to feel these, I'm some, whatever. And it's like, but I'm still human here. Otherwise I wouldn't be human. And that's the hard part, right? That's the discernment. That's the discernment that Spirit is talking about in this card. Like, asking ourselves who we really are and like what we're here to do. Like, what is our path, right? Like, why are we here? And this says, my weight is always a struggle. My digestive tract is sensitive to stress. The flip side of that, this is the healthy body mentality. Number 3, I have healthy self-esteem in multiple areas of my life. I am satisfied with my ability to fit into a family, a relationship, and a career. I feel good about my intellect and my ability to have a voice in the world. So I don't know if this is for some of you, but I know for myself, I so struggle. One of my greatest addictions is food. I don't have a horrible relationship with food. I have had a horrible relationship with food in the past. I am working on that right now. I am strengthening my relationship with food, and I have a very healthy relationship with food. But see how even just right there, I just changed the programming of my mind, but it's going to take me a while because most of the programming I've had in my life has been from my family and friends. Oh, you know what? We're just big boned, or fatness runs in our family, whatever. There's just always, oh, I can't lose weight. I have a thyroid problem. It's like we don't take control of our situation. We just say, oh, this is somebody else's problem, right? But it's like, and for our emotions, for some of you, maybe you can't keep weight on because you're so sensitive to the stress around you, so you feel sick when you eat, so you're not eating. Well, then you need to take yourself out of that situation, right? Or work on it, work on getting yourself out of this situation. So, you may even want to take a screenshot of this for the positive. I have healthy self-esteem in multiple areas of my life. I am satisfied with my ability to fit into a family, a relationship, and a career. I feel good about my intellect and my ability to have a voice in the world. Now, you can change this languaging because some of this languaging is kind of mamby-pamby to me. So, if you need to, change the languaging. It's about the sentiment. It's not the languaging itself. It's the sentiment, right? It's like that's what the whole thing is about. Ooh, and the cat is coming to talk to us. The cat's about independence and healthy boundaries. For some of you, Spirit wants me to ask some of you, why are you afraid to be alone? Because for some of you, you're terrified to be alone. And for some of you, I'm hearing you're using money as an excuse. You're using your home life as an excuse. Like, I'm just hearing like there's a lot of excuses there. And only you know the answer to that. This isn't a tongue lashing of like, you suck. This is them saying, no, you're awesome and you're stronger than you're giving yourself credit for. Some of you used to be independent, but you forgot how to be independent. And your boundaries with people are so unhealthy that's why you feel these things about yourself, because you've allowed people to control you and your life. And this is number 18, which is also the number 9. So that's good, because even 18, it's like the end of that, set of numbers, right? It's going to go into 19 and then 20. Well, same with 8 and 1 is 9, right? So like you're at the end of it, but they just want you, the cat wants you to remember who you are. We're not going to read the card. They just want you to remember who you are and to take your power back. Stop giving your power away. That's what I'm hearing, is to stop giving your power away. Oh, and work with the amethyst. Work with amethyst for healing. Work with the amethyst, you guys. I'm going to put this up here so you can see the word for some of you. I would think most of you by now, if you're on this channel, know what an amethyst is, but just in case. And I don't normally read these, but I know that amethyst is like the biggest healing crystal on the planet. But I'm hearing that they want me to actually read the their words. And it's the keywords for amethyst are spirituality, positive transformation, and meditation. You are being urged to embrace your shadow side. Take an inventory of all those aspects of yourself that you are afraid to show the world because you perceive them to be bad or inadequate. Meditate on these qualities, acknowledge them, see how they serve both you and others, then love them and bring them into your heart. When you realize that every aspect of you serves a purpose, there will be no need to deny half of who you are. Just be yourself and understand that there is nothing in your life to fix. They are simply aspects of yourself yearning to be embraced and loved. This is a time of profound change, a time of positive transformation, which will have a lasting impact on every area of your life and to some degree on those around you. And if this really touched you, whether it was the stone itself or the meaning of the stone, I was called to have you go watch my new moon real talk episode. I forget the title of it now. But anyway, go look at this past new moon episode. I'll put it down in the comments here below. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. But it was basically, that's what I was going through too, is that I was finding that I was afraid to be myself. Like I was still, after all this time, I still have bouts of being my authentic self because I've been bullied by so many people my whole life. And so if that is calling to you, go watch that. It'll be what did I post before that? I don't know if I've posted anything. I think it's the last thing I posted before this. So there you go. And they want you to call in the hawk medicine. The hawk is all about omens and messages. I am going to read this one because this one I feel like is a specific card for, or a specific meaning for one of you. Oh, look in the number 11. We started with the number 11 about the balancing act. So maybe this is bringing you back to that. And if this does break into groups, 11533, if this does break into groups, then that means you should probably go back and watch the first part, the first group. When the hawk appears, expect a message to be delivered to you to aid you in your quest. Perhaps a telephone call from a friend will help you solve a mystery, or a chance meeting with someone who may solve a riddle. You may literally see writing on a wall or overhear a conversation between strangers that reveals your own answer unexpectedly. You will know it when it happens. Be open to messages from others and be aware of omens and signs in nature. The world is constantly attempting to communicate with us, but we human beings have forgotten how to listen. So remember who you are, an intrinsic part of the great mystery of life. Listen and learn. This is the gift of the hawk as he soars into your life from Avalon's skies. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. You deserve more. You're worth more than that, you know? Like, you're worth more than that. We all are. We are all worth more than that. Oh, sweet fairies. Where did my glasses go? Oh, they flew on the floor. The fairies are coming through with another message. Oh, look at that. Another summer. So again, this may be dealing, with, an air sign, right? Isn't that what summer is? I always like to double check. It's like the swords and the tarot. Yeah, so this is about thinking in an air sign. It says, open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. So maybe that's all you need right now, just like a little spiritual epiphany. If this resonates with you, take a screenshot. So 1 is the beginning, right? And what did I say? When summer comes around, I feel like, we're at the end of this cycle,